Hello, writers. Welcome to another weekly write-along. And I'm Eva Devil. And if you have somehow chanced this write-along, then you're committed to writing for the next 20 minutes. So no going anywhere, no excuses, nothing. So today is the 22nd of March 2015, and I just have one quick announcement to make before we get going. Last week, as you might know, if you were with me, I launched my steampunk series, Flora Victoriana, and in honor of that, I am holding a giveaway to say thank you to my early fans and supporters, who I appreciate so, so much. And I've spent the last week shopping for some really cute stationery to send it off to you guys, to whoever wins. So all you have to do is go to this address and subscribe to my email list, and I will choose one lucky subscriber on the 1st of April. And I won't be fooling anyone. I will be perfectly honest and choose just one person. So that's all I have to say this time. As you hopefully know, if you've joined me before on these write-alongs, I have we do one free writing session of 5 minutes, and then I'll give you a prompt, and then we'll write on that for 15 minutes, and then I will end with an excerpt that I've chosen from one of my favorite novels. So let's get writing with our free write, and the purpose of this is just to get things off our minds so that when we do start our writing, we feel fresh and warmed up. So I hope you've got your pen and pencil ready, and I'm going to set my timer. So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Okay, that was our 5 minutes of free writing. So now let's move on to our prompt for the week. You may have caught a glimpse of it a second ago when I scrolled down accidentally. So the prompt is, a character reveals their backstory in dialogue. And this will tie in with the extract I'm going to read after we've done this piece of writing as well. And as always, I'm going to use a character from my series. I'm not sure what I'm going to write yet, but if you don't have a character in mind, here's a quick sketch for you. Nathan is from a privileged background, but has still found it difficult to achieve something meaningful in his life. Give his theories as to why this was. So I hope that helps. And yeah, let's get going. I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes. So I hope you're ready, set, go. We have 1 minute left. That's our time up. So I hope you enjoyed this right along and you got some useful things out of it. I was quite enjoying my dialogue actually. I think it will in some form make it into the next novella. How many did I write? I wrote 580 words. So let's go on to the excerpt, which is from North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell, one of my favourite Victorian novels, and if I may be so bold as to say, I do enjoy the TV series even more. And, you know, it probably has a lot to do with Richard Armitage, but not entirely. I do think there are some excellent bits in the movie, in the films, that are almost better than the books, yeah. So I hope you enjoy this extract. It does relate to our topic, I think, and I think it does a really good job of developing Mr. Thornton's character. So I won't attempt the Berkshire accent, but I hope I will be able to read it out well enough. Is there any necessity for calling it a battle between the two classes? Asked Mr. Hale. I know, from your using the term, it is one which gives the true idea of the real state of things to your mind. It is true, and I believe it to be as much a necessity as that prudent wisdom and good conduct are always opposed to and doing battle with ignorance and improvidence. It is one of the great beauties of our system that a working man may raise himself into the power and position of a master by his own exertions and behaviour, that, in fact, every one who rules himself to decency and sobriety of conduct and attention to his duties comes over to our ranks. It may not be always as a master, but as an overlooker, a cashier, a bookkeeper, a clerk, one on the side of authority and order. You consider all who are unsuccessful in raising themselves in the world, from whatever cause, as your enemies, then, if I understand you rightly, said Margaret in a cold, clear voice. As their own enemies, certainly, said he, quickly, not a little piqued by the haughty disapproval her form of expression and tone of speaking implied. But in a moment his straightforward honesty made him feel that its words were but a poor and quibbling answer to what she had said, and be she as scornful as she liked, it was a duty he owed to himself to explain, as truly as he could, what he did mean. Yet it was very difficult to separate her interpretation and keep it distinct from his meaning. He could best have illustrated what he wanted to say by telling them something of his own life, but was it not too personal a subject to speak about to strangers? Still, it was the simple, straightforward way of explaining his meaning, so, putting aside the touch of shyness that brought a momentary flush of colour into his dark cheek, he said, I am not speaking without book. 16 years ago my father died under very miserable circumstances. I was taken from school and had to become a man, as well as I could, in a few days. I had such a mother as few are blessed with, a woman of strong power and firm resolve. We went into a small country town, where living was cheaper than in Milton, and where I got employment in a draper's shop, a capital place, by the way, for obtaining a knowledge of goods. Week by week our income came to 15 shillings, out of which 3 people had to be kept. My mother managed so that I put by 3 out of those 15 shillings regularly. This made the beginning. This taught me self-denial. Now that I am able to afford my mother such comforts as her age, rather than her own wish requires, I thank her silently on each occasion for the early training she gave me, Now, when I feel that in my own case it is no good luck, nor merit, nor talent, but simply the habits of life, which taught me to despise indulgences not thoroughly earned, indeed, never to think twice about them, I believe that the suffering, which Miss Hale says is impressed on the countenances of the people of Milton, is but the natural punishment of disorderly and dishonestly enjoyed pleasure at such some former period of their lives. I do not look on self-indulgent, sensual people as worthy of my hatred. I simply look upon them with contempt for their poorness of character. But you have had the rudiments of a good education, remarked Mr. Hale. The quick zest with which you are now reading Homer shows me that you did not come to it as an unknown book. You have read it before, and are only recalling your old knowledge. That is true. I had blundered along it at school. I dare say I was even considered a pretty fair classic in those days, though my Latin and Greek have slipped away from me since. But I ask you what preparation they were for such a life as I had to lead. None at all. Utterly none at all. On the point of education, any man who can read and write starts fair with me and the amount of really useful knowledge that I had at that time. Well, I don't agree with you, but there I am perhaps somewhat of a pedant. Did not the recollection of the heroic simplicity of the Homeric life nerve you up? Not one bit, exclaimed Mr. Thornton, laughing. I was too busy to think about any dead people with the living pressing alongside of me neck and neck in the struggle for bread. Now that I have my mother safe in the quiet peace that becomes her age, and Julie rewards her former exertions, I can turn to all that old narration and thoroughly enjoy it. So, I'm sorry I didn't read that very well, but you've got to love Mr. Thornton. So that's all for this write-in. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will join me next Sunday at the same time, 3 p.m. GMT, for another write-along. I'm here every week, and I hope you are too. And don't forget again to enter my giveaway at eadevil.com/Flora Victoriana. And if steampunk is your cup of tea, I hope you check out my writing. Thanks again, and see you next week.